Hi, I'm Sean Newman and I've been in the estate agency industry for over 30 years. And I'm really excited to bring this new show where I interview some of the top most successful estate agents in the UK. Some are earning 10, 20, 30,000 pound a month. Some are earning 40, 50, even 100,000 pound a month in personal commission on a self-employed model. These agents will be sharing their story and their journey on how they became an estate agent, the success they've had, and sharing their secrets on how they did it. We are seeing the biggest ever seismic change in the estate agency industry, with more and more people becoming self-employed estate agents. This is a fantastic opportunity, not only to earn a life-changing amount of money, but to raise the standards of estate agency in the UK. With these interviews, hopefully these interviews will inspire you and encourage you and give you some useful tips and advice on your estate agency journey. I hope you enjoy the next episode and I look forward to seeing you soon. Hi and welcome to today's episode. My name's Sean Newman and today I'm joined by Miranda Mendes. Miranda's got a fascinating story, how she's come from a completely different industry with no estate agency experience to become a partner estate agent. So in just 7 weeks, Miranda's achieved some amazing success and today she's going to explain her story and tell us about the journey so far. I hope you enjoy this episode. So welcome Miranda, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me.
So I just wanted to share your story because it's inspirational. You've got off to a flying start. So you've been with a relatively short period of time. And what I'd like to do is just maybe talk about your journey of joining or becoming an estate agent. So do you want to let's start with what you were doing before and tell us a little bit about your background and your history?
Yes, yeah, of course. Well, I first started my career when I was 16. I joined the forces and I was only in 4 or 5 years. And then I left and I actually set up my own diet and fitness club. Right. And I've actually been doing that for the past 26 years. It's been successful. It's been lovely. I've met some really nice people. But unfortunately, I'm now in a situation where I've got 2 worn out knees and I'm heading very fast for a knee replacement. So as much as I've loved my business and it's still going really strong at the moment, I've realised that, I probably haven't got another 20 years left in that career. So I think I'd always been looking, probably for the past year or so, particularly when the pandemic began, for options and choices. What would I like to do? What would make me want to get out of bed in the morning? Yeah. And something I could really have a challenge from, but still have that pleasure of going to work every day. Yeah.
So obviously you've looked around. What sort of things have you looked at and what was it that appealed to you about the estate agency industry?
Well, again, it all started when the pandemic broke out. I had a part-time job at a small local estate agent near where I live, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And I thought, at each good thing that I did, each new thing I did, I loved it. And I thought maybe I'd just do it slightly different. I had my own kind of interpretation of how I would like to do things. So I think that gave me the fire in my belly for it and the understanding that it's something that I could possibly do quite well at. Yeah. And then I did an awful lot of research online because I have run a franchise before. So, I have gone alongside somebody who's been popular in another industry. So, I wasn't naive enough to think that I could just open up an estate agent and get my success from day one. I wanted someone who I knew had a lot of experience in the field, could fill in my gaps, and also was particularly passionate about having the industry, changing the industry that we're in, and being quite passionate about getting the reputation of estate agents in this country improved. Because sadly, some friends I've said I'm going to be an estate agent, they've rolled their eyes and they said, why would you want to do that? Nobody likes estate agents. And I've said, well, I'm going to do things really different. Have you, listened to what Sean Newman says? And, I've done a lot of research from people who have done it and looked at it before me. So I liked the ethos of where you were coming from, and I felt that it kind of sat well with me and with my personality and my time of life and the circle of contacts that I have around me. So
that's interesting. So when you decided, you were obviously working part-time in an estate agent, so did you think maybe I should do this full-time and be an employee, or did you decide that I wanted to have my own business?
Yes, yeah, no, I did think, I did actually think it was the right thing for me to do. It was going to be my next career. You know, I've got probably 20 years of work ahead of me, and I thought, I like to be busy. It's going to be something I'm doing. And I did, and the agency I was working for, they were lovely, and they did offer me an opportunity. And I did sit and think for a while, do I take them up on their offer? And it was a nice offer. Yeah. It was an attractive offer. Or, do I make an effort to kind of meet with the Newmans team and just discuss? I didn't know how it would go. I was just, in my head, I was thinking, I'm not good at X, Y, Z, so it's probably not going to be right for me. I had lots of questions. I wrote them down, and then each person I spoke to answered my questions, and they gave me answers where it kind of changed the thought process in my mind to me thinking, actually, it probably is achievable, rather than me putting barriers in my mind. I kind of opened my mind a lot more to it.
So I just want to come back to that sort of decision about whether you stay where you are and be an employee, or whether sort of you effectively be your own boss and run your own business. What were the fors and against with both? What appealed to you about being an employee, or what put you off against, being an employee where you were?
Yeah. Well, the fors were, I loved the team I was working in. Yeah. I have run my own business for 26 years, and it's been lovely, but it can be quite lonely. You are out there on your own. You don't have the banter, the camaraderie. You don't have people around you that you can lift up. Yeah. And when I went into the estate agency, I love working with people. I love the staff. They do lots of different personalities. And when I left, I really did miss that. The attraction for me now is that I decide exactly how I'm going to do it, exactly how things are going to be done. Obviously, naturally, when you work for any employer, they're going to have their idea and how they want to do things. Yeah. And it's not to say I didn't fit in with that. And I obviously did the company policies and all the rest of it, but I kind of had ideas of my own, which I felt personally I could do things slightly different, that would be more suited to my personality and the reputation I wanted to build moving forward.
Yeah. Okay. And what were your sort of concerns, about, running your own business, or, taking that leap of faith? I mean, were there any concerns, or did you just go, no, I'm confident I'm going to do it, I'm going to do well? Because obviously it's a relatively new industry for you as well.
Very. No, I had loads of concerns. I had so many concerns, and I had so many conversations going on inside my head. Yeah. I'm not good at social media. I'm in my late 40s. I've not sat at a computer and done lots of IT and different things. And obviously, those sorts of things were a concern to me. I've not listed houses. I've not done floor plans before. I never dealt with any of that when I was working at the part-time at the agency. So again, that was a big concern for me. Yeah. I had lots of self-doubts, lots of concerns, but I think deep in my heart, I know I can work hard. I did a lot of research, and there's lots of things that you say, if you do this and you do this and you do this, it's going to head you in the right direction. And I just literally simplified it. When I finished my training course, I had a very driven, a very military plan, and I went out there and I implemented everything you guys said to implement, and then I just continued to do it. And then my phone started to ring. I thought maybe I'm just lucky here, but I have had quite a lot of luck really in a short space of time. I'm not foolish enough to think that it won't quieten down, and I'm sure it will. But as long as I know I'm really willing to keep working hard, I'm hoping that this will be a good future career for me.
Yeah, well, you've got off to a flying start. So coming back to that decision, you made the decision, you want to be your own boss. And in fairness to you, I think the good thing that you've got in your favour is that you've run your own business before. You're entrepreneurial. I guess for a lot of people, running their own business is the scary bit, or the fear. But for you had other fears. I mean, you were probably confident of running your own business because you've done it before, but you had other fears, and very valid fears. I mean, social media, videos, keyboards, computers and all of that stuff, that maybe someone at 19 just has lived with and grown up with. It is different for someone that's a little bit older. But so you made the decision. So obviously with a new starter, we do an induction course for the first week. I mean, that must have been a massive learning curve for you. How did you find it? Was it too much, too little? Was it about right? I mean, what did you learn?
I think at the time I thought it wasn't enough. I'll be honest with you. I thought, gosh, I'd done everything I needed to do. I was all organised, all ready to go. And poor Michelle, the lady who works for you, who deals with all the new people, and I was saying, oh, why is it not starting on the Monday? And he's like, no, it's starting on a Tuesday. You've only got one more day to go. So I was really ready to get started. But that first, 4 days of the course, very informative. I couldn't get my head around everything, so I decided I would listen to everything I need to be told at that point in time. And then for me, I decided it was going to have to be a little process. So there were certain things we were taught and learnt on the course, but obviously I didn't need to know them until I was bringing on my first listing, for example. So I didn't need to panic. Again, I had just a bit more conversation going on inside my head, just like let's cross that bridge when we come to it. So I think really it was pitched right, because you didn't bombard us with it, because I don't know, probably would have scared me a lot if I'd had too much. But you've got somebody on the end of the phone when you come to each of those different phases. Michelle told me exactly what to do when I was getting my first listing on. And she literally, I would say she held my hand. She really did. And by the time I'd got to my fifth one, I was absolutely better. not perfect, but I was definitely a lot better. And then when I get my next one, I'll be more excited about it. And they were the things in my head that I was thinking, I don't think I can do this, because there's no way I could put a property on Rightmove or Zoopla, but it's stuff you don't need to worry about, because it's stuff that you guys have already thought about, you have already considered, and I literally just had to come in with a lot of wanting to do a lot of hard work and wanting to be successful, and there were things in place for me along the way.
And I guess you're right, that's what we're here for. There's certain things that you as the agent need to do, and that's obviously one, be interested in learning, and then secondly implementing. And we can teach anything and everything that someone would need to know, but it's getting that balance right, because literally I can't put 30 years of experience into someone in just a few days, a week, and nor do we want to, because it would just be information overload and it would be too much. So it's getting that balance right, but being there as and when you need us. But so that was obviously the first week. So it's been probably 7 weeks now, and I think I'm right in saying your first 5 weeks, how many listings did you get in?
5.
Five listings in your first 5 weeks. That's a phenomenal start. That's brilliant. So how are you feeling? I mean, we're going to talk maybe in the next episode about what you have done and how you've achieved that, but just to sort of to summarize now, obviously we've talked about your past and obviously then that transition into estate agency. How are you feeling now? I know it's early days, but how is life, and what's it like?
I'm still a little bit shocked. I keep saying to myself and friends and family members, was it only last month that I did my training course? So it was in May, and we are in June as we're doing this. So it's kind of a little bit of I'm a bit numb with it, although it's a good numb. I'm enjoying it, and I'm just taking each phone call, each conversation, each day of jobs, which I do myself. I plan myself. I'm just taking it as it comes, taking nothing for granted. I have sold houses very, very quickly. I've got others that aren't flying off the shelf. So that, again, it's all new to me. So I'm learning, and I'm ready for the challenge, basically.
And there may be people who are watching or listening to this who are not estate agents, and they've come to a point in their career and they want to change for whatever reason, and they're looking at this as an option. Obviously, it's not right for everybody, but who do you think it would be right for, and what do you think are the sort of characteristics that someone needs to be successful in this industry?
I think the biggest thing is to be a good communicator. Okay. I've always pride myself on customer care, customer service, and when I get given bad customer service, it really annoys me, like most people, because it's quite a simple thing to get right, I think. And I think my philosophy is a potential client, I would treat them how I would like to be treated. So I have in the short space of time I've been doing it, always been very honest. But the success I've had through that, when I've been sat on people's sofa, has absolutely astounded me. I'm like, really, me? You want me to sell your house? So I think you've got to have that side of your personality. You've also got to want to work really hard, because being self-employed is hard work.
Yeah.
You can't dress that up. You can't rely on somebody else's name in your area to get you listings. Yeah. Okay, you just can't do that. Doesn't matter how big the name is. So I've gone out there and I just want to get my logo, my brand out there, and I just want it to be in the mix. All I ask is that it's in the mix if people are looking to get, say, 3 to 5 agents out to carry out a market appraisal on their home. I just want an opportunity to be able to tell that potential client how I would go about selling their home, how I would go about marketing their home, and what I feel I can do, honestly. Yeah. And I tell them I'm giving you no promises. I'm just being totally honest here. And it has worked. It has worked well for me. And I've come up against, I call them the big boys. Yeah. And I have won listings. I'm not naive to think that it's going to go the other way. But I've got big shoulders. I'll handle that because it's part of the industry. It is what it is.
It's great to hear your success, and hopefully this will inspire some other people. And it's interesting when you say about the client or the seller, potential seller, that you've just been honest with them and told them what you're going to do, and it's probably a refreshing change or refreshing for homeowners to hear that, because unfortunately estate agents generally have got a bad reputation. Have you experienced have you sold or bought a house recently?
Well, not recently, but I have experienced, terrible side of the trade. I think most people have, and there are a lot of good estate agents out there, but I have been on kind of the receiving end of that, and things not being told that are true, and just different things. And I just think that's not the way I wanted to go about things. And that even if it meant that I didn't get the listing, I thought I would always be true to myself and true to the person sat in front of me. And I'm hoping moving forward, once I can really start to get my name out there and be in the mix of 4 or 5 potential estate agents going into people's homes, that will come across, and then hopefully it'll be word of mouth at some point. That's where I'm looking to get. Yeah.
And why do you think it is that estate agents have got a bad reputation? What do you think the problem is?
I honestly do think that some estate agents will just get the listing, try to get the listing regardless. Okay, and they won't look at the true market value, perhaps, of the property. Yeah. I think everybody can get that wrong to a certain degree. And a lot I have seen, it literally would just pop it on Rightmove or Zoopla and possibly hope for the best. Yeah. What I do, and it's not what I made up, it was what I've come up with after watching all the YouTube videos and listening to so many podcasts on the industry, the successful people in the industry, because ultimately I think that's what you've got to work towards if you want to be doing well at something. It's about actually changing the perception and really thinking about it differently, and just doing it with honesty and integrity as well. Yeah,
it's fairly simple and straightforward in many respects, and we'll come back to that in the next chat. I just want to sort of finish off with sort of understanding your future, and are you enjoying it? What do you think the future looks like, and how will it affect your life? Really, what's
that is a good question.
What do you like, and what do you think you like? What appeals to you about this model of being a self-employed estate agent?
I'm very self-motivated, so because you're given a lot of freedom, and if you want to sit and watch Netflix all day, you can, but you're not going to sell any houses. Yeah. So I am probably my biggest critic. I set myself my challenges. Yeah. So I don't suppose I will ever get to that point where I'm entirely happy, but I think the biggest thing for me is the buzz of helping somebody with their most valuable asset, which is their home, and to move on to their next step. Because people have come to me and said, I would like you to sell my house. We've seen a bungalow that we'd like to downsize to, and they've told me the bungalow, but we don't think it's for sale. And I've had the confidence or the audacity, we'll call it what you like, to actually politely knock on the door and say, are you thinking about selling your home? And that couple, quite elderly couple, actually feel like they've got someone to go to who they can trust and can honestly help them. And I can't promise them I'll find them something. So I like that side of it. I think that side of it is really, really good. And once you get 1 or 2 listings on, it's almost quite addictive. You think, right, okay, 1 or 2, that's great. Now I'd like a couple more. Yeah. I don't want too many more because it is just me dealing with everything. Yeah. And I'm still aware of the fact that I want to do a first class job for my client.
Yeah, brilliant. Just one other thing that's important for everyone really is money. Have you had a chance to work out, you talked about those 5 listings in the first 5 weeks, how much are they worth to you? If you sold them all, what would they be worth? Or have you got any thoughts about what you want to be earning per month in the future?
Yeah, I mean, this is really interesting because I think this is one of the first conversations that you and I had on my Zoom interview. And I know I'm charging a really good percentage because I'm working hard for my client, and it may not necessarily be the cheapest percentage in my area, and I haven't actually worked out what they are, but I know I have some houses that are quite big, coming on the market at the moment. So no, it's not that fact. It's the fact that I want to be really successful. That's what motivates me. I know being successful, the money's a byproduct. It is, yeah. I've always been quite sensible, if you want to call it, with my money, and I've always saved for a rainy day, and I suppose I'm quite fortunate to be in quite a comfortable position, but obviously I want to earn very well. I've been used to a nice lifestyle. Yeah. And next year when my business, because at the moment I'm still doing some of my fitness business, and then I have a new owner who I've sold the business to from January. So this will be my main source of income. It will be my 100% focus. So I know looking at the figures that you quote, I know it's doable and very realistic for me. But more so for me in my area, I want to be one of the key players. I want to be one of the key agents that people go to, and I do realise that will probably involve building a small team around me. Okay. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. And
have you got a figure that you'd want to be earning per month or per year? I know I'm pushing the point a little bit, but I just want to give people an idea of what the potential is really, or what your goal is.
Yeah, I think comfortably at the moment, from what I've seen in the short space of time and that I've been doing it, I think £5,000 per month is quite a comfortable figure to achieve, particularly as you get 1 or 2 listings and you get your name out there, and you start getting a couple of good reviews, which is important.
Yeah. Well, that's it's been a fascinating story and journey, listening to someone who's gone from absolutely no estate agency experience, taken a part-time job, thinking, right, I like this, I want to do more of this, and it's a big jump into the unknown, really, of one, running your own business, but also in a new industry that you know very little about. So congratulations on that courage and bravery to do that, because I know there's some people who've been doing estate agency for years that have still sort of held back on that for various reasons, and very valid reasons, because it is a big step and it's not right for everyone. Running a business, first of all, the investment in time, and obviously probably not going to earn any money for the first 4, 5, 6 months, and the unknown is just the fear, really, and of backing yourself. But for the right people, it's just a fantastic opportunity, and it's great to see people have taken that decision, and I really get a lot of satisfaction from seeing people do well. So, I want to say congratulations on your first few weeks. Yeah. It's been really, really good to see. What I'd like to do is perhaps talk about how you've achieved that success in such a short period of time. So maybe we could do that in the next video.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you very much for your time and sharing your story. It's been
Thank you for inviting me. It's been good. Thank you.
Thank you. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like more information about becoming a self-employed estate agent, I will add a link in the description. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.